What's going on, guys, and welcome to the Underdog Experiment closing thoughts. Now, these 4 weeks have really passed by quickly. I have thoroughly enjoyed going live, making the premiere, and spending time with you guys, trying to incorporate perspective and taking advantage of that 10% of the conscious side of your day to essentially reprogram that subconscious side of your brain. And in Friday's session, I really got deep in the weeds about the whole Underdog experiment. I believe it was, again, the best recap out of all of them. I not only broke down last week's finance recap, but I kind of just went really in depth with where this whole Underdog experiment was going, what I really learned from the Underdog experiment. And if you've been following me for the 4 weeks, again, it's been fun, right? Like, I think the first week hitting time management, again, not one of the greatest of topics, but we learned a lot about efficiency. In week 2, we learned about health, which I think was important in understanding the concept of the body and mind. Week 3, we touched on people skills, which was one of those things that a lot of people, want to incorporate in their lives, right? Soft skills. And last week, we just touched on finance and essentially trying to change your perspective on money and how what your relationship is with money. Now, going through this whole experiment, it was kind of one of those ready, fire, aim kind of things that I talk about a lot, especially during this experiment, right? Is you want to be able to execute, and the best way to do that is by eliminating thought, right? If you give yourself time, you'll find an excuse not to do it. And we talked about that in time management and execution, that if you really want to execute on those goals, on those daily tasks, you just need to eliminate the thought process and start executing. Now, through this whole process, looking back on it, I wish I would have structured it better, right? But I didn't want to sit and procrastinate and try to think up the whole thing and just do it. Because a lot of times when you do that, it just doesn't work. The Underdog experiment, trying to take advantage of that 10%, that conscious side, and reprogramming the other 90%, right, I think is extremely important. When coming up with this concept, it was something that made a lot of sense at the time, and then it's starting to grow into something more. It's starting to grow into something where I can see can really help somebody creating a system and getting you from a low point in your life where you feel like maybe, you aren't confident. Like you've lost your power, right? You've hit rock bottom, you are on ground zero, you are trying to get somewhere in life, right? You're trying to take back your power, you're trying to bring back confidence into your life, or maybe you've never had the confidence. And that's what this Underdog experiment is taking advantage of that active conscious side of your brain, incorporating positive things into your mind, incorporating perspective into your mind, right? Because if you are coming from a place of a lot of negativity, it is really hard to see positivity because you have that tape playing in the background in your subconscious of all the negativity you've seen without incorporating any positivity in your life. And to do that, you have to take advantage of that conscious side, the active side of your brain. And so when going through these 4 weeks and looking over these 4 weeks, it's easier to look back on something and see what could be corrected. And I think going through these 4 weeks, I corrected a lot and saw that, I should have actually structured it in a way in which I built out the mindset and how you take advantage essentially of that 10%. I talk about taking advantage of it, but I didn't really get into the weeds. And I know this past week, especially on Friday on the recap, I really started talking about, in incorporating a book that I'm developing out of this Underdog experiment, right? You are the underdog, right? You are the conscious side trying to reprogram the subconscious side, right? And that's not easy. You have to understand that you have to make the choice to want to change your life. But it all roots from your mindset. 100% from your mindset. But you have to make that conscious choice. And then on Friday, I broke it down into what you had to do, right? It's challenging your belief system? Are the beliefs that you have today still serving you? And I've talked about this before because it's extremely important. Your beliefs may be hindering you from making a decision in your life that you need to make at this moment. That's where execution comes in, and realizing, okay, I need to make this change now. There is nothing going to change, right? There's nothing in your life. No one is coming to save you. You have to realize that life, you have to be your best friend. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to be your biggest fan. You have to take the time and realize that those beliefs aren't serving you anymore. You have to take the time and realize that every decision you've made up to this point has put you in the position that you are today. You have to take responsibility on those decisions and realize that the only way you're going to change your mindset is by making a decision each and every day, using that conscious side of your brain to reprogram your subconscious brain. You never think that you could be a more positive person. You never think you could achieve those things that you've always wanted to achieve. But I'm telling you, it's possible. I've done it. By taking advantage of that time. By taking responsibility for the decisions that you're making. If you don't take the responsibility to make those decisions, challenge beliefs, remove beliefs, create new beliefs, things will never change. But what I wanted to do was to provide you a system that would help you do that. That's what this Underdog experiment is to provide you a system to take advantage of that, to know what you need to be doing to take advantage of it. We are all unique. We're going to tweak. But these tools are your compass along this way that I've shown in this Underdog experiment. That's why I'm writing a book, because I want to refine a lot of the processes that went on these 4 weeks. And then provide you a tool that will help you reprogram your mind. That's not saying you can't go back to week 1 and re-go through everything and see all the unseen changes that you may not actually be seeing. Because if you don't see progress, it can be frustrating. It can deter you from wanting to carry on. But you can go back and you can start. And then you can work with me every week, because what I'm doing is I'm going live still every Thursday to talk about that 10%, about that active side of your subconscious and how we can change that, how we can change your beliefs, how we can take those decisions that will change your life and make it happen by executing without thought. Yes, there is some pre-planning here, right? You don't want to just execute. You want to do a little bit of pre-planning on where you're trying to go. You want to at least know where you're going. But then the next step is the decision making. Executing daily, no matter what. Have priorities and make sure they get executed. So over the past 4 weeks, it has definitely been a blast. I've learned a lot. I've refined a lot of different things, and I think the book is going to be, which I did go over on Friday's session, are just some of the contents of the book. It's going to really redefine it and how to tackle this, and then go into the pillars and talk about how you can change your perspective on health and change your perspective on wealth, change your perspective on people skills and time management, and how to leverage those tools to get you those things that you want in life, to get you the success that you define, to get you the relationships that you want. Right? You have to understand that to get the things that we really truly desire, you have to have purpose. But to be able to find your purpose, you have to rebuild your mindset and know how to do that. And that's what we're doing here at the Underdog Experiment. So I really hope you've enjoyed these past 4 weeks. I really hope that you go back and replay the past 4 weeks and try to build on this unseen progress. Follow along, take notes, get that unseen progress and write it down in a log, do whatever you need to do I have tons of references, which I'll leave down in the description below here. You know, go through all the different books, read these books, right? Find ways to change your perspective, take advantage of that 10%. And then every Thursday, we're gonna continue building this. I'll be going over the book. I'll be going over, you know, different things I'm learning along the process to put in the book, and refining the system to improve your mindset. And that's where we're going. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this Underdog experiment. I know I thoroughly enjoyed it. And also, don't forget, Thursday, 9 p.m., I will send a schedule out, and I will make sure I will be there every Thursday at 9 p.m. And we're going to continue this journey, and I hope to see you there. So until next time, guys, take care.